Welcome back to another edition of the B4evaKool podcast. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ with Two Wheels and Coffee.
What's going on, man? How's everything?
Everything is it's going good. Just living life. Weather's getting better.
Living a
Trying to
dream.
living the dream.
Nice.
But yeah, the racing aspect is amazing. You know, how was everything on your side? I know you had your racing weekend.
Man, I can't complain. I can't complain. Now, my 2022 bike is cutting off on me, and I don't know what's going on. So,
Oh no.
I have it apart behind me now, trying to figure out what's going on with it. It's kind of strange. At first, it was only doing it in the corners, but the last round, it also did it on the straightaway. It'll lose power, I don't know, like for like maybe like 3 seconds or whatever the case, and then kick back in and keep going. Um, so
It lose
uh,
full power?
yeah, just shut down. Um, so yeah, so not a fun thing to do in the corner or on the straight. Regardless, even if even if there's people behind you, because you drop so much speed when you're off the throttle, right? So it wasn't a good look, but I pitted. I had my B bike, so I did most of my racing. I did the rest of the race with my B bike, so which is not bad. Got 2 second places, so overall, I'm happy about that. Um,
So you basically MotoGP in it. You get two bikes to choose from. Kind of
uh,
A to B bike.
yeah, maybe something like that. I think I learned my lesson probably I don't know, last year or the year before. I was trying to get away with one bike and stuff like that, and it just wasn't happening. You know what I mean? Because if you have, if you have a quick turnaround, if it starts raining in a race and they do a red flag and you got to come back in and change tires real quick and stuff like that, I've missed races because I only had one bike and I just didn't have enough time to change over that kind of thing. Which it is part of the race, and it is what it is. There's other people that they can get that done pretty quickly and stuff like that. So for me, I found it's funny because I thought about selling the B bike, and it's just kind of like nope. Is there anything go wrong? And I was saying like the past couple of weekends ago is like I said, the 2022 bike was cutting off and stuff like that. The B bike had rain tires on, so I had to switch tires over and all that, and deal with all that. And the bikes, they feel a little bit different, but it's nice to have two bikes if you can do it.
Believe that.
So yeah, and I'm looking forward. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be. I was hoping to come up to Loudon this round, the May round, second round, and race. I don't think that's going to happen, and I might not even make it for the classic, which is also unfortunate, just based on timing and stuff like that. But my next race probably will be next month down in Georgia. If all goes well, and who knows? I might get up to Loudon. We'll see. We're still. I mean, the classic is still a month, well, a little over a month away. So,
A
how
little
about you?
less than
Say again?
a little less than a month.
Yeah, less than a month. So how things going for you, man? I know racing's coming up soon. This weekend. So you must be getting excited. So yeah, man. Let's talk about you got some racing coming up this weekend. You ready to go? All excited?
Yeah, well, still going through some festivities from the first round, so I'm trying my best to make it up there um, to the round. And if I can't race, I'm definitely gonna go support. So, but I'm ready to go see it or even participate if I can. But definitely, if I can't make round two, I'm for sure making round three because I got family and friends coming up too. So
Okay. Wow. So you may not make round two, huh?
yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. It be like that sometime. It's very life happens. So
Well,
uh,
believe me, it's hitting me too. It's not like I'm just choosing not to.
well, hopefully it'll work out. If the bike is good and you want to rent it out, let me know, man. I'll bring my suit this weekend and go for you.
Oh no, the bike and everything is good. I started it and went through it and stuff like that. It's just the other side things I've been going through for the past like month
Yeah.
too. So
I know how that is, man. It is, like I said, it is, you know, yeah, we have to make hard decisions at time, man. And for us, it's like not go racing, right? So it's not really that hard of a decision, but you know, it's never, you know, you know, we're passionate about motorcycle and riding and racing and stuff like that, and the whole community. So you know, when you can't make a round, and especially when you've been doing it for a while too, you know what I mean? It feels so strange when you're just not at the racetrack. That's why even, you know, coming to Boston later this week and stuff like that, you know, it's going to be weird, you know, knowing the race is going on and I'm not at the racetrack racing.
Yeah, I feel the same way. You know, it's you you got a whole new family. You know, you got to be a part of the basically the cookouts. You know,
Exactly. The cookouts, the food run, just, you know, catching up with everybody because it's been, you know, 5, 6 months you haven't seen folks, and you know it is like you got your racetrack friends, right?
yeah, it's like a comedy show too. So it's a good time.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
you know, trying
Um,
to make it work, trying to make the impossible happen.
all right. So now, what do you think about the purse being 310,000 for the classic? When do you think you think it's going to be like a sold out crowd? The stands are going to be filled.
Man, it was actually a really good turnout last year,
Yeah, it was.
for the 100 Classic, and the Saturday of the race it rained pretty much all day.
That it
The
did.
day before was a nice dry day. Um, so I think it's gonna be the same turnout or a lot more, just because um, people know about it now. It's like a second year running of like a purse like this,
Right.
or like last year. So I think it's gonna be a large turnout. I mean, Loudon stands are pretty big, so I don't know if it'll be like fully packed, but I mean, I can see a good turnout,
I can see, especially if
especially being on the classic weekend too. So
right, exactly, because the classic is already known, you know, around, and a lot of people already do come out because it's Bike Week up in that area and stuff like that. So there's already a huge crowd. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully I'll get there. I might not be racing, but hopefully I'll get there to you know to at least take in the event.
oh yeah, I can't wait. Like I said, it's less than a month away. We just hope for some dry weather this time,
Right.
but it's gonna be some good riders there. It's gonna be entertaining.
No doubt. Yeah, man. Let's talk about MotoGP, man. You know, Le Mans. You know, I like that track. I have to say. You know,
Track is pretty cool.
say again.
Track is pretty cool.
Yeah, the track is definitely pretty cool. What do you think about the weekend, the sprint race? We could talk about the lower categories if we get time to talk about those categories. You know, but you know, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll talk about the sprint race, but first I want to say, man, like we talking about Coda and trying to have a large turnout. I mean, the next race was Jerez. They had like almost record-breaking people, but this Le Mans, man, like it was a party.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it
what it
was,
sounded like, man.
yeah. So like that Le Mans crowd is, man, like they had some record-breaking people, participants there, watching the festivities, and I mean, like just the turnout was just amazing. Like you just see the passion of the fans, and compared to the United States. But that first race was pretty good. I mean, like there's a lot of battles. I mean, that boy Jorge Martin, man, like I mean, he knows he got to be mistake free to win a title. That's what we said.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
man,
I agree as far as Jorge Martin. But to go back to that crowd, yeah, no, you know, hopefully, you know, fans in the U.S. will grow, or the fan base in the U.S. will grow, and I think they're trying to get another MotoGP race in the U.S. as well. So at least there's two.
right.
And like I say, it's you know, I hope the U.S. get back there to numbers that it was. You know, I don't know what the numbers are exactly in the 80s and 90s, but they were definitely, like, the motorcycle community was larger for sure. And you know, now we got, you know, more Americans in Moto 2. and hopefully they might make it to MotoGP next year. Joe Roberts. You know what I mean? So hopefully that the fan base here will grow. But no, I mean people do come out in France, in Spain, in Italy, in Silverstone, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of places where people like it's crazy, and the amount of bikes that are showing up. People are just rolling up on bikes regardless of the weather. Right, they're showing
Crazy.
up. They're showing up and having a turnout, and it sounds like they started partying from like Wednesday night and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So hopefully, I'm hoping to take in MotoGP again. It's the pandemic slowed things down for me for sure, and but next year I'm hoping to take in the MotoGP race if all goes well. Because it's crazy. Like the outside of the country, outside of the U.S., the energy is unbelievable, and it's definitely worth taking up. Now to get to the sprint race, man, that I'll say for Pecco Bagnaia, that's unfortunate that the Ducati had some technical issues, and it seems like it was bigger than what it was because he went out on his B bike for that sprint race because the A bike wasn't working properly. And even that bike had issues as well. So for him, that season's still early, but that's a blow. And I think that changed the tone for the race for the whole weekend because he's one of the main contenders and he wasn't there. So I think Jorge Martin was breathing a little easier in the sprint. Marc Marquez was also breathing a little easier, even though he went from 13th to second. Pretty crazy. You know what I mean?
He likes them.
Yeah. So at this point, Jorge Martin, he has no choice but to win every race. He really has to win every race. I don't even think when you got Marc Marquez and Bastianini finishing, in the top four, he has to win every race to continue to try to get that seat. So yeah, man. So definitely good job for Jorge Martin. I mean, Marquez, he still hasn't figured out that bike yet, but when he does,
He's amazing.
it's amazing. And so it's the crazy thing is, I think Gigi Dellini is saying he's going to make a decision by Mugello. I honestly don't even. You really can't. It's one of those things like you're gonna, flip a coin, a three-headed coin, a three-sided coin, and whoever lands is who you're gonna have to pick because this may go down to the end of the season. Who wins the championship?
I think so. I mean, like Pecco, he confessed. I mean, we got a confession out of him. He doesn't like sprints. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he did have a problem with his B bike. I mean, his A bike, and had to ride the B bike. But that side of him was just like, you know what, f this, I'm pulling out. Um, so and like Martin, like you said, he had to go, and Marquez had an impressive run, 13th to second, and you see the top three guys right now, like Jorge Martin, Marquez, and Pecco. They're all alpha males, and like it's gonna come down to the end of the season. And we're thinking Mark didn't finish a few races with the most points available on the table, and
Right.
right now he's third in the championship. So it's like I don't know how Ducati guy will make a decision by Mugello. Like I said, you're gonna have to wait to the end. That's gonna be. I mean, you can't wait that long, but I don't know.
No, I think from a respect to the riders, you can't wait that long. I will say this: if it was up to me, I would re-sign Bastianini at this point. One, he already knows Pecco really well. They've been in a team together already for a little bit. It's unfortunate what happens to him last season and stuff like that. Some wasn't his doing, some was his doing when he came back. And I think it would be fair to give him another shot to say, okay, let's see what you can do. Because I feel that if Martin gets the seat and he gets hurt next year, and doesn't get to, and it's similar situation happens to him that happened to Bastianini, I think the following year he would want to prove himself too, right? And Mark Marquez and these guys as well. So I think for Bastianini, he's riding really well. I mean, he's third in the championship right now, and he's riding really well. And it's and he comes on late in races outside of crashing out. Um, you know, he still has a pretty good, and the season's still early, so he still has a good shot to win the title.
Yeah, he actually is riding really well, and it's good to see. But I think that would probably be the not the most basic, but to ease all the nerves because he still deserves a factory seat. You know, just re-sign him and then just let the dominoes fall where they may.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's what I think.
that yeah, exactly, and which would be unfair for Martin. I think Mark Marquez, granted, he's 8-time world champion. He's he probably has a really good shot at winning the title as well. Um, you know, but it's only his first year with Ducati, and he didn't do anything to make the bike better. So realistically, for him, it's nice that you came, bro. But you took a seat that could have gone to another rider that was really well. I mean, this whole loyalty thing. I felt like he should have stuck with Honda through the bad times and brought that bike back because I think long term his legacy is going to be more cemented. Maybe not. Maybe he goes and win 5 world titles with Ducati. Who knows? I don't know what the future brings. But currently, you know what I'm saying. That to me, that's that. So I think even though he's a 8-time world title guy, it's like it's your first year with Ducati. You came on a bike that when you were kicking Ducati's butt, you were not trying to sign to Ducati. You weren't trying to, what I'm saying, like when you were on top, you weren't trying to leave and go help anyone else. So realistically, it's nice that we want to see you. There's no difference between Marc Marquez and any of those other riders that's not on a Ducati right now. In the sense that, because if all of them were on Ducatis, they'll probably all be doing really well. You know what I'm saying? And so for Marquez, I don't think he should be in the talk really. I mean, I get it, and like I said, but it's not fair for the Jorge Martin or the Bastianini. Right. These guys came out on Ducati. They were riding the 19 bike. You know what I'm saying? That, you know what I mean? They've been in the trenches with that bike. So I don't think, like I said, he's riding well. He's doing really well. And it's like, look, you want to stay with Grassini? Go ahead and stay with Grassini. And if you win a world title with them, great. But it's really should be between Bastianini and Jorge Martin. And like I already said at the beginning, at the moment, if I had to pick, I'll give Bastianini a seat. Jorge's going to be on a 2024. He's on a latest spec bike. Give him the money. You know what I'm saying? Give him the money. And just be like, yo, if you were in his shoe right now and these things happen to you, would you, and a new guy's coming up, you want us to do the same thing to you? Because that's essentially, you know what I'm saying? That's what it looked like. Now, if Bastianini came back and is riding like Morbidelli, and I'm not picking on Morbidelli because it's only his first year on the Ducati, but when he came back to Yamaha, he struggled. Right, so I can see what happened to him because he struggled. But when Bastianini came back, he's really not struggling.
Yeah, that's it would be unfair for them to throw a third person in the mix trying to get a factory seat. Like it's too much going on. And like I said, well, we didn't bring it up again, but they signed Aldier already for next year. So
Right.
like that's another Ducati seat. So.
Exactly. And the way Ducati's going is going young. So again, I mean, it is and Bastianini, it's because of those yellow flags why he didn't get a chance to grid better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you have to take all that into consideration for him, and he's riding well enough to keep his seat. Granted, Jorge Martin is riding better. But at the moment, it's still pretty early. He's in fourth place. You know what I'm saying? Let me look at that again. He's in fourth place at the moment. I got to make sure I'm getting that right because I might be wrong. Yeah, he's in fourth place at the moment. You know what I mean? So, and he's tied with Mark Marquez for fourth. So he's really in third place. And he's only 2 points down from Pecco. So again, you know what I'm saying? You know, luck and what have you and all those things. I mean, all these guys crashed out and all these guys, the three guys below Jorge Martin have more DNFs than Jorge Martin.
That's what I'm saying.
and if they didn't, it'd be a lot closer, right?
Right.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Marquez crashed out in the lead. Him and Pecco crashed out another time. You know what I'm saying? So, it like I said, at the moment for me, I would stick with Bastianini and, you know, and leave it there. But I feel bad for Jorge Martin because he's doing really well. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And I think, but, you know, one of these guys got to fall off.
Well, I'm gonna call it. I didn't want to say it, but Mark Marquez is running for the championship. He's gonna steal it from Martin because you know Mark got his 1 year with Grassini. I think Grassini's switching satellite teams, I believe, and factory seat's gonna go to Anea, and then Martin's gonna be upset and he's gonna leave too, go to Aprilia.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of. I think that might be how it plays out, and you know, maybe Marquez go to Pramac, right? So for next year, that kind of thing, alongside Furman Aldeguer, who knows, right? And then we're not even talking about Bezzecchi, right? Because you know, granted, he again, I mean, he crashed out twice, but he had an opportunity to do really well as well. So I'm not going to count out Bezzecchi. I don't at the moment. He just got to make fewer mistakes. And I think he might finish top 5 in the championship the way he's riding at the moment. You know, and so, I mean, I think the fight is going to be between the 4 guys there and probably Bezzecchi. I'm not going to count out Vinales. Vinales has an opportunity as well. So, you know, I think those 6 guys at the moment are showing. I mean, granted, outside of, you know, mechanical and DNFs, they would all be up there in the championship.
Yeah, we're getting to the point where I mean everything counts, but now where the standards are falling, how close it is, there's a little margin for error
Right.
for a lot of riders at this point.
Right. And we still have what?
Still have so many
15,
races.
15 more rounds to go or something like that. Was this round 5 that just ended?
Yeah, I mean they
So-
got to be on edge.
Yeah, so it's still too early to call. Definitely
It is.
too early to call. And you know, and I will say this because after I watched the race, I did say Jorge Martin is celebrating a little too early, too much. And it's funny. Then Simon Crayfar, he said the same thing on their show. And the thing is this, right? Okay, you can win races, okay, but that doesn't matter anymore. You know what I mean? You're like. He's saying things and doing things as if he won the championship already, and it's too soon. It's like 5 rounds, and just keep your cool. You know, you see when Pecco wins, you see how calm he is because like the wins don't matter anymore. It's the title now. You know, when you're chasing titles, you're not. That's the only thing that you're gonna find joy in, and so I think that. Not to say the only thing, but you know what I mean, though, that you can see the guys or gals that, you know, they keep their composure because they know what's at stake. And I think for Mark Marquez and Bagnaia, those guys know because they've been there already. And I do hope people in this camp just be like, yo, bro, you don't need to break your windshield and your visor, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to say who's number one, because it's only, you already know who's number one. He got it on his bike.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You already know who's number one, bro. So, like, are you saying it for yourself? I don't know because those guys are not. Marquez is not fazed by it, and Bagnaia is not fazed by that. They are not there, and they're cool as a cucumber. So, I think for that, and that's, you know, we talked about patience and stuff like that. I think for him, you know, I know it's tough because he wants the factory seat. You know what I'm saying? I don't, like I said, I'm not a MotoGP rider, professional rider, or anything like that. None of that. And if you're giving me the money and you're giving me the bike, I don't care about the colors. I really don't. Because all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna win on whatever. If like, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to have the colors. Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we show up, it doesn't matter. You just want to win. If there's some dude on a early 80s bike and you got a brand new bike and he's lapping you, it is what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because so I think, but again, I that's the only thing with Bagnai, not with Martin. I think he could throw the champ. It's for his to lose the championship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, granted, I mean, I agree with that. It is his to lose. Like he's getting back to the celebration side where it's just like, dude, it's too early. But for his sake, like if you think of it personally, like he did put down the fastest lap, he did win the sprint, and he did have a good fight for the GP race. So just like what Maverick did
Yeah,
at Coda.
Yeah, but Maverick didn't even, like, you know what I'm saying?
No, I said I get what you're saying. So like all that was sweet, but to end it off the way he did, kind of just tripped it. Like you said, like you go down the straightaway, you bash your windscreen, and you lose your face mask. Like, come on, bro. Like, all right, we know you won both races and stuff like that. So it's just like keep your head.
Right, yeah, exactly. Because, it's like you see players in the NBA who have, got mad and punched the wall and break their wrist or fingers or whatever, you know what I'm saying? At that level, it seems like it's hard to make mistakes, but it really is easy to make mistakes. And, I know it's frustrating for him because he probably wanted to see, he wanted that confirmation already. But, Mark Marquez has done, like they've set lap records. They've gotten poles. They've gotten wins. Like, he's not, you know what I'm saying? It'd be one thing if it was an anomaly, but it's not. And, yes, you've gotten the best of Pecco, but he's also gotten the best of you 2 years in a row, right? And so, you know what I mean? And you really, like I said, I think for him, he has a good shot of winning the title, but he also has a good shot of, shooting himself in the foot to lose it as well. And we've seen that in a couple of rounds. But, it's motorcycle racing, so we shall see.
I mean, we've seen it. We've seen Pecco do it to Fabio. We've seen do it to Martin. They all had super leads going in the second half of the season.
Yep.
And the number one plate came back strong.
Yep.
And when someone's chasing you, you're always like, oh, you get that fear, and then you get a little jittery, start making more mistakes, and how it happens comes down to the wire, and that number one plate is still on there. So it is his to lose. And like I said, he got to keep a clear head. Like I agree that you can celebrate after a win to feel good about yourself, because it's a lot. It's a long mental race, but there's ways of celebrating. Like they give you the champagne, celebrate that way up on the podium
behind closed doors, whatever, right? You can
doors,
whatever.
Bike intact. Now you got to pay for a windscreen, and you try to get the money, you spend it money,
right? Yeah. No,
it's a little tedious, but
yeah. No, I agree. I completely agree. Pedro Acosta made his first mistake.
Bro, that boy is still lucky. Like he take the way he like undercut or try to dive bomb. He's been doing that, so can't get mad at him. But the way that he went out, man, what other best way to crash out? He was safe. The bike was okay.
Right.
And the two riders he went in between didn't get touched.
Right. Yeah. Gian Antonio and I think it was was it Vinales? I don't remember.
I think it's Aleix or Vinales. It was an Aprilia.
Yeah. It's, I think for other rookie riders would have crashed out sooner in their race. This is normal, so I don't really, it's normal, right? I mean, you know what I mean? I think for him, he is doing incredible things on that bike. And he had, I mean, up until this point, he saved just about every other thing, every other, almost crashes, right? So,
Is the elbow and knee technique.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, for him, it's it's unfortunate, but I think that team, I think at the beginning of the season, and it's not, I'm not ruling them out or not counting them out, but that team is, I think, is looking at 2025. They're looking at, I mean, he's probably going to go to the factory seat next year, but I think everything that's happening this year is to prepare him for next year to be one of the contenders. And not to say he probably could finish in the top 4, top 5 this year. And, I don't believe he would win it this year because you need that experience. And, we see how hard it is for Jorge Martin. He has more MotoGP experience. And, I would say he's just as talented as Acosta. So, you know what I mean? So I don't see that. And Bagnaia and Marc Marquez, these guys are just as talented and have the experience. So so if those guys are healthy, it's going to be hard for Pedro to consistently go against those guys and be on top. I think that he'll be on top a couple of times, but they're not going to let him. They're not going to let him do that all. They're not going to let anybody do that all season to them. Not much him.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's good for him to like see where he stands already. He's like, all right, when I come back next year, if I get a more updated bike, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be even higher than where I am now. So it's really good to see. Um, it looks like KTM has some work to do at Le Mans because they had a horrible weekend.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree. I don't know what's
So
going to happen there because, like you just said, they do have a lot of work that they have to do, and that, it's weird, right? And I don't. I didn't expect Brad and Jack to struggle as much as they're struggling. And granted, Brad had 2 second places and blah, blah, blah. So when we straight struggle, I'm not sitting here saying the season is done. But, for the last couple of rounds, Acosta was the best KTM rider. And I don't know why that is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Not to say I don't know why he was the best, but I don't know if that's affecting those other guys. I don't know if personnel is because they've been riding Acosta's nuts for a lack of a better road, right? So
oh yeah,
so so to see them struggle is interesting, and hopefully it won't continue. And I don't know, but yeah, I didn't expect KTM to struggle as much as they did at Le Mans, and hopefully going to the next round they'll have it figured out. I feel bad for Fernandez, Augusta. There's it's tough, man. It's tough. I can't. We on the outside looking in. Motorcycle racing at that level, car racing at that level is cutthroat, very cutthroat. So I really feel bad for this dude. I don't know. Again, I don't know behind the scenes if everybody's all over Pedro like that, and he may not be feeling the love. Maybe they've already kind of like the side of the paddock is full, and it's just like him and his crew chief on the other side. You know what I'm
nobody
saying?
care anything about him.
Yeah, and so I think that's affecting his riding, right? I definitely think that's affecting his riding. You know what I mean? Which is very unfortunate and stuff like that. But that's what pressure is, right? So he's gonna have to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? But it's tough to see KTM struggle this past weekend. I don't even know who was the top KTM rider. Was it Fernandez this past round? Because Brad crashed out, and I don't know where Jack finished.
Well, for the sprint, it was Pedro Costa. He finished sixth. But um, for the GP, it was actually Brad Binder who was eighth.
Okay. Yep. I'm looking at
But
that now.
he 3 crashes or 4 crashes before when the sprint race. That's hard to like figure things out, and it's just and then they just didn't have a good weekend from what we know to see.
Right. No,
But
so,
yeah, Brad Binder with the eighth on the GP, and and Fernandez 13th.
Right. Um, Morbidelli finished 7th.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. He's consistently in the
Hey,
top 10, and he's making it to Q2. You know, I think he's doing enough to have a seat next year. I don't know if it's going to be with Pramac. Probably won't be. Because, I think, if Jorge Martin doesn't get the factory seat, well, I don't know. Who knows? Because he may leave if he goes to another brand. But the only other brand he can go, Jorge Martin can go to is Aprilia at this moment.
right.
So, I mean, I think he's doing well enough. He's going to have to beat out Digin Antonio, I think, to stay in the Ducati brand, because I mean Rossi's his boy, so I think he'll always have a job for at least one more season if things don't work out for him at Pramac or somewhere else. Well, there's nowhere else really. And so I'm rooting for Morbidelli, because I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. And hopefully, that will come out at least hopefully by the end of at least by the second half of the season. By the second half of the season, Digin Antonio, Morbidelli, Fernandez, Augusta Fernandez, I think Raul and Miguel are safe right now. I think those guys gotta. Yeah, they got to start getting on the podium. They got to start. They got to have some top 5 races, because these guys could be out of MotoGP next year.
And Morbidelli's waiting for 2027. He can get his skills back.
Nah, I don't think he's gonna wait that long. I think it's there. I think it's remember it's his first year on that bike, and
just mess it.
and you know what I mean. And granted, Marquez is riding a little bit better, but I think Marquez also has his brother for help. I mean, Morbidelli has the VR46 Academy, so hopefully he'll figure it out. I'm rooting for Morbidelli. Quartararo crashed out. He did well in the sprint, and he crashed out in the main race. But I think it's it's going to be a hard few years on that. Quartararo is waiting for 2027.
Yeah, he is. I didn't even see how he crashed out. I don't know if he just lost the front or something like that.
I think so.
He was riding hard.
Yeah.
He was in a good position on that GP race. I think he was like in 6th or something like that. And that's his home track. And he had a sweet livery.
Yeah,
definitely. And a nice suit. So like
definitely.
he was blinging out there. But it was just him to go down was sad to see.
Right. No doubt there. Shout out to the other Frenchman, Zarco. He finished 12th. He seems to be the best guy on the Honda. Losing power all over here, man. It's time to end the show. He seems to be the best guy on the Honda right now.
Yeah, I mean, Zarco, that was his home track as well. So mentally, I'm sure you just want to finish.
Yep.
But finally, we get to see a Honda, finish with some points.
Yes. Which is very important, as they say.
Man, they can't go to season with a donut.
No. And I think they're loving Zarco for it, because he's doing the right thing. And so far at the moment, he is the guy that's he's putting in the work and he's getting the best results. I feel bad for Mir, because Mir is struggling, and I suspect he wants out of Honda like ASAP. But who knows? Because he may not have anywhere to go. So,
I mean, I agree with exactly what you say. Like Zarco, like he knows what it is. I mean, like he knows like the bike sucks, and they're probably not going to finish top. So like any good result he's happy for, like he said in the interview.
Right. He's doing his job. He's doing his job.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, Mir, you can see it. Like he's getting frustrated. Like Mark left him. He didn't want to go to Honda. He was forced there, and he's kind of over it. But like I don't know where he's gonna go.
Yeah, I don't know, because I think he needs the results. I think to go somewhere, because the only place would be left if Yamaha has a satellite team and he goes to Yamaha with Rins. Now I think Rins is happier on the Yamaha than he is on the Honda. But again, I think he got to figure that out too, right?
I do want to see a Rins podium. I know he can do it.
Yeah, I mean, then
Yeah.
he'll be another one to win on a third manufacturer, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I think we're coming to an end. I will say this: we, you know, I wonder what's going on with Alex Marquez, because I think in 2023 he had a brighter light. Now that his brother is on the same team as him, we forget that Alex Marquez is in MotoGP.
These teammates really do affect you, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
But that is true. Like he's not. I mean, he's never been the story, but like he is a Marquez brother, and like you said, it's been all about Mark, and he's been riding just regular. He
Yeah.
hasn't put any super like stats out where you're like, okay, I can see him to do better next race. It's just been, I don't know, just a regular GP ride at this point.
Yeah, yeah, which is unfortunate. I hope again, he pulls it together because, I think with the level of talent these days in MotoGP, it's not as easy. It's not. The. I think you look at Polo Spargaro, Alicia Spargaro, Taka Nakagami. These guys that have been in MotoGP for a while and haven't won races or been on the podium. I mean, obviously, Alicia did the last couple of years and stuff like that. I believe Pole's been on the podium. I don't know if he's won, but he's definitely been on the podium. But when you got guys but I'm not judging the accolades. I'm just saying the amount of time they've been in MotoGP without getting anything. I think those days are going to be behind us. I think MotoGP is very tight already, but I think with them young riders coming up, it's hard for an older rider to stay in MotoGP if you're not the top rider on that bike.
Yeah, I mean, Alex still young, right? I'm not sure how old he is.
Yeah, I think
but
it's like 27, 26, 27,
yeah,
somewhere around there.
getting to that point. I mean, we see it. Like you said, Ducati's the best bike. So like when you're at the top, obviously you can't stay there forever. But like, where would he go if he don't put in the results?
World Superbike.
Hey,
And I will say this, right? Because we are going to wrap up in a little bit. I will say this, that the riders that are leaving MotoGP and going to World Superbike have made World Superbike so much more competitive. The Ika Lukuona, Xavi Reddin was one of the first, obviously Batista. You know what I'm saying? You got now what is it? Lowe's, he's over there. Obviously, Inoni's over there now. Petrucci, all these top guys, and so they've made World Superbike. I mean, and people say World Superbike. Some people say World Superbike is better than MotoGP to watch and all that and stuff like that. And I've watched a bunch of World Superbike races from 2015 on, and I'll say like the level of competition in World Superbike is at a different level than 6 years ago.
yeah, I mean, from when I started watching it, I mean, the level was amazing. Seems like the bikes compete. They're more on the same level. And as you see this year, like with the rule changes and like it's so equal, like
Right.
the weight distribution and also like it's interesting to watch. It's like I said, if you have to go to World Superbike, I'm sure it'll be more entertaining for the longevity.
Oh, for
'Cause
sure.
you're bringing down pros to another location. It's just
Well, look at it this way.
wouldn't be a bad choice for him if he has to go there.
Jonathan Ray won 6 world titles back to back to back to back to back, right? And then you see these riders coming in, Batista and these guys coming in, and that changed, right? And so so yeah, the level was very good, but now, like I said, in World Superbike and MotoGP, any 10 riders can win.
That is true.
So,
And I agree with that.
No doubt, man. Well, racing's coming up, man. Let's shout out the sponsors and
Let's go. So yeah, I'm trying to make my weekend this weekend. So see how that goes. But official Vortex for always supporting me. Hideaway Rentals, the J&G Performance, and Woodcraft Technologies, and always that be forever cool.
no doubt. I'm rocking the gear, man. Shout out
Yeah,
to
it's warm now, so
that's right.
take the hoodies off.
That's right. That's right. Shout out to Workbench Technology. Go to Workbench Tech to get your anything you need IT. Give us a call. Shout out to HY Clothing. Go to HamdenYard.com or HYBoston.com. Get your B4evaKool t-shirt. All right. We got a lot of things out there as well. And always, please like and subscribe. Shout out to all the subscribers, all the people commenting. We appreciate it. All the likes and stuff like that. The more you do it, the better we are. And the more we get access to more things. So thanks for everything. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ with Two Wheels and Coffee.
Peace.